Yeah, January 19th already. Look, there's no snow. It's just a little bit of rain. It's not even that cold. Oh, hey, we got to go. All right. Yeah, see you. Hey, welcome to season 4 already, episode 3, I think it is, of Niagara 411 Live with Sterry. That would be me. We are, as usual, fueled by Gales Gas Bars, whom we always thank for being here to be the pin, the ground pin of our sponsorships. Virgin Insurance Brokers Limited. Thank you very much for continuing to be here as well. They're just located over there. And of course, we are going to take you into this slightly less misty, much drier Fiddler's Poorhouse at 149 St. Paul Street in St. Catharines. And of course, you can appreciate there's someone operating the camera, which is having a look at my rather hard to make good looking face, but he does a pretty good job. Kevin Jack, of course, ladies and gentlemen, is the co-founder of WeeStreem, Canada's premier streaming service, and that's what we're viewing this on right now. Now, the big story of the week, of course, all over Niagara was that horrible explosion and the fire that continued over on Kiefer Road in Port Weller, and unfortunately, a young man died as a result of that, and all of those things that went on. We are going to be speaking with that young man's fiance coming up at about 12:20 today, and we'll hear what her day was like. You can imagine, but we'll hear it from her lips and find out how she's doing. And maybe we'll find out some other things as well. I had no idea we were dealing with as many chemical issues over there as a matter of everyday business that we were. A lot of things we've learned came out of that story. Other things coming up as well today, so we shall be back to get it underway in about 30 seconds. Come on in. I confess, my wiring came a little bit
No, I can come fix that up for you, Lee.
undone. It went around. No, that's okay. I got it.
All right, we're good to go.
Like that old. We were talking about the Guess Who earlier, Kevin. It was like that old Guess Who song. She's come undone. Well,
That's definitely not like that new Guess Who song.
which new one was that?
Well, there is none. That's you just prefaced it by saying, that old Guess Who song.
Okay, this whole thing is going crazy. I'm going to do this.
What
have I done?
I thought we prepared, Lee.
Huh?
What have you done here?
I don't know.
Do you need me to fix it?
I can fix it.
Oh, okay.
I can fix it.
All right. Well, we do have a great show coming up today on the program.
Yeah, you just keep talking.
Yeah, Natty is going to be joining us. I had a chat with Natty this morning. It's so difficult. I mean, we're a week removed.
Yeah, I feel bad.
From her waking to find out that her fiance at first was injured, and then later to find out that that 37-year-old Ryan Konkin died in that terrible explosion at Sonics. Last night, WeeStreem was up at Grantham Lions Club, and there was a community meeting. It was very well, if not heavily attended by the Port Weller Residents Association, and they raised a lot of their concerns about evacuations and how many chemicals are there, and et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
You can tell this is live, eh?
Yeah, I mean, you are having difficulty there. Lee, do you need me to come around?
No, I'm all right.
Well, you got that cord coming across.
Got that
I'll
cord
come fix
coming
it
out again. Jeez.
All right, is that working for you?
Oh, gosh, Kevin. Why can't you plan something that works? No,
and later on the show, Lee, we've got Jennifer coming on the show. It's a crazy story, and it just goes to show the power of Niagara 411. About a year ago, Nick put out a post for her because she was looking for a kidney donor.
Right.
And through that post
Yeah.
and that post alone, she found a match. And we're going to have both Jennifer and her donor, Nathan, joining us on the program. And it's so cool when this stuff comes together. And it's a great community story. But you're right. I mean, it all kind of starts and stops in the last week with that explosion and subsequent fire up at Sonic's. And very interested
Yes.
to hear from Natty and really put a human touch on the tragedy.
Thank you so much for putting up with my machinations here. That was embarrassing. I had everything set up like we always did, and I pulled on the wrong string, and it's like you pull on that one string of your wool sweater that your Aunt Mabel gave you, and the
gone.
whole thing unravels.
Now, I'm going to navigate over to Niagara 411 here
Yeah.
on my phone,
Yeah.
and I'm actually going to share it. So here, you know what? I can do that here if anybody wants to see how to do that. It's so simple. There we are, Niagara 411.
Yes.
And let's see. Oh, there we are right there. That's us live. And here, I'm just going to click the share button, and I'm going to share now.
Okay.
And I encourage everybody else to do that.
I'm going to do that. Okay. Walk me through it. I'm going to do refresh my page.
Okay, and you find us right there.
And I'm gonna go over to Niagara 411. Right, and there we are.
There we are there. You're going to click the share button.
There we are.
And
there.
then you're
I'm
going to click share now.
click the share button, and we share.
All right.
We share now.
Well, I'll tell you, Lee, we're not exactly flying out of the gates here.
We're not.
No. We also have some viral videos coming up on the show this week. We've got a couple right here from Niagara. Phil Demers shared a drone shot of Kiska, who's the lone orca left at Marineland, and it's just depressing. I mean, I don't know what I thought they did in the winter, but
I'm sorry, but I thought Kiska was supposed to be transported to another facility in like New York or New Jersey.
it's hard to keep track, Lee. I don't know where we're at.
I didn't think we had any more of these whales in captivity at Marineland.
Maybe grandfathered? I don't know how it all works.
So do you have that?
Oh, do you want to get to that now?
Do you want to do it, or do you want to just
Well,
move
I was
on?
going to do the, let's do the
the
Tim
TikTok.
Hortons one. Yeah, let's do the TikTok one.
Let's do the TikTok video.
So this one, Lee, it's a viral video from the Tim Hortons over on Hartzell.
Yeah.
And I would still call that Meriton. I don't know exactly where the
It's
boundary
Meriton.
is.
Sure
yeah,
it
it's
is.
Meriton. Over on Hartzell, and a girl just loved the enthusiasm of this guy, so she put a post up on her TikTok,
Yeah.
and it went viral. And here it is, and I think you can see why.
Guys.
Thank you for choosing DeBorn. How can I help you?
Hi there, can I get a small French vanilla?
Ooh, small Frenchy vanilla. Anything else there for you?
Yep, 2 old-fashioned glazed Timbits.
Oh, they look great today. Good
I love old
choices. Anything else there for you?
No, that sounds just fine.
All right, it is going to be, let's see here. Oh, there's some chocolate layers.
We can hardly hear him. Crank
All
it
right,
up and
cool.
play
We're
that.
looking
Can
at
you play it again?
390 cents, so let's see the window.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
Here we go, you guys.
And here it is.
Thank you for choosing DeBorn. How can I help you?
Hi there, can I get a small French vanilla?
Ooh, small Frenchy vanilla.
Vanilla.
Anything else there for you?
Yep, 2 old-fashioned glazed Timbits.
Oh, they look great today. Good choices. Anything else there for you?
No, that sounds just fine.
All right, it is going to be, let's see here. Oh, there's some chocolate layers.
Now there is a man that
All right,
enjoys
cool. We're
his
looking at
job.
390 cents, so let's see the window.
I don't know
Thank
what I
you.
did.
Oh, thank you.
I don't know. I did.
Here we
Hey,
go, you guys.
the earpiece
Thank you for
police
choosing
came
DeBorn. How
by.
can I help you?
Hi there, can I get a small French vanilla?
Ooh, small
The
Frenchy
earpiece police came by.
vanilla.
Screwed me
Anything
up.
else there for you?
Yep, 2 old-fashioned glazed Timbits.
Oh, they look great today. Good choices. Anything else there for you?
No, that sounds just fine.
All right, it is going to be, let's see here. Oh, there's some chocolate layers.
See the anticipation.
All right, cool. We're looking at 390 cents, so let's see the window.
390
Thank you.
cents. He said. See, Kevin, how would you react? People don't expect that kind of Okay, this guy's playing with me. I'm not sure how to respond. I thought she did a really good job, but how does somebody in a bad mood react to that? They kind of, give me the coffee, give me the nuts, give me the whatever.
Yeah, well, Lee, you got to see the follow-up to this. So that video that we just watched,
Yeah.
1.6 million views.
No kidding.
On TikTok. So she goes back to the same Tim Hortons. Did you know this Tim Hortons, right? It's with the Wendy's right over there on Hartselle.
Yeah.
So she goes back to kind of let him know that that he's gone viral. So here we can share that one.
Thank you for choosing the board. I can help you.
Hi, Jason.
How are you, my dear?
I'm good. How are you?
Fantastic. Even better now that you made it.
I know. I'm finally back.
You're here.
Listen, your video got over 1 million views.
I'm sorry, it's got 1 million views now?
Over 1 million.
Over 1 million views.
Yes.
Wow, I think it was like 5,000 last I heard.
Yeah, it's good. It's a lot.
I appreciate hearing that. Wow. We're doing it together, though, you know?
Yeah, no problem. Okay,
And it's actually her
so
video.
today I will get the small French vanilla.
French vanilla, done.
Yes, and I have no idea what else I feel like
What
today.
about a banana nut muffin? Because we're feeling nuts today. Well, bananas at least. Or even a wild blueberry because they're wild and blue.
Listen, muffins sound too big currently. I already had breakfast, which people don't understand when I order 2 Timbits, but I'm going to do it today. 2
Timbits.
old-fashioned glazed Timbits, please.
Old-fashioned glazed. They look really good next to a couple of birthday cakes, too. You want 2 of those as well?
Not today.
You know what? Let's just stick with the old-fashioned glaze. We've got the rest of the week to go, and I got a showcase full of stuff for you, too.
Awesome.
The rest of the week, of course.
Of course.
Anything else for you today, my dear?
That's it.
Great news.
And will you go out with me Friday night to the movies?
Thank you.
Thank you.
We got a date. Oh, that's awesome. When was the last time you ran into somebody that you really felt didn't, a 2-part question, didn't enjoy their job and then did enjoy their job? Now there's a perfect example of a guy that he's really enjoying what he's doing. And I've known people that owned Tim Hortons franchises or other fast food franchises. And I got to tell you, people like that are hard to find as employees because you don't pay them a lot of money. They don't need a degree to work there. So a lot of people that are just trying to get back into the workforce or get their first job or whatever, earn some extra money as a second job, all kinds of different people work at places like Tim Hortons or Wendy's or McDonald's or Burger King or any of those places. And it's really hard to find somebody that, well, is like Jason, that really treats a customer like family, like he's having fun. Kevin, I got to tell you quickly before, and I know we have Natty coming up. I had to go get an ultrasound this past week. Not going to go into the details why. It was no big deal. It's nothing serious, et cetera, just sort of a routine thing. And I went in, check in, health card thing and all the rest of it. Said, they'll call you. Okay, so I sat down and they called me and I go in. And this guy just sort of, he got enough syllables out of his mouth to say, jacket on the door. Jacket, yeah, oh, okay. So I put the jacket on the door and then he just grunts enough to tell me where to go. Yeah, and I knew he could speak English. He was fine. So he points to the bed. I lay down on the bed. He does the, you know, what the ultrasound thing is. I everything okay? So, all right. So then he says, pardon the clarity here, but maybe too much information. Go down the hall and drain your bladder.
So they call bedside manners, Lee.
Yeah. Okay, second door on the left. Like Mr. Personality. So I go down, I come back, I lay down on the thing. He goes, again. You're done. Okay. Anything to say? No. Okay, so I'm putting on the hat, putting on the jacket, and I said, I could not resist. Do you like your job? I asked him. I literally asked him. I said, "Do you like your job?" Well, and I saw his eyes kind of twinkle because he was wearing a mask, and you can tell when people are wearing a mask or smiling because their face changes. So he started to smile, and he said, I'm here, you know. Okay, because I said, you don't really seem like you enjoy your job. And then I acquired some insight. He said, they don't like us to get too friendly with the patients because they ask too many questions that we can't answer. We're not doctors. We can't say what we see. We can't answer. So we stay as detached as possible. I said, well, you've accomplished that goal. That was my experience for the week. I could not believe how detached it was. But then I understood.
But good for you for at least kind of confronting the situation.
But I had to say, like,
why
are you happy?
Yeah, why are you like this?
Why
are
don't you go work with this guy at Tim Hortons?
Unfortunately, that guy at Tim Hortons will never leave the drive-thru.
No,
He's
not
too
now.
Good. Yeah, he's too good.
Yeah, they won't let him go.
I'm trying to remember the last time I went through that drive-thru, whether or not I got, what's his name, Jason? Christopher?
Jason.
Whether or not I ever got Jason. I almost want to go through now just to see the viral sensation it is.
You know what you should do is go through there and say, is Jason there?
And if he's not, say,
are you
okay,
Jason? No. Can you go get him for me?
Or if he's not there, just don't order anything.
Yeah.
I don't want anything.
I came to talk to Jason. Oh, man. Anyway, that's once we got my technical inadequacies sorted out, that was a fun way to start the program. Now again, speaking of voices, which is what we do here, James Earl Jones passed away. We have experienced a lot of famous and not famous, but people whose names we know have passed away in the last couple of months. It's just incredible, actually. And James Earl Jones, who you may remember or may not remember, was the voice of Darth Vader, just passed away overnight at the age of 92. What a great personality he was. Be it in picture or just in audio, James Earl Jones, a real presence, I guess that is what I'm looking for. He was an on-screen presence, no matter what he did, be it just voiceovers or on-screen as himself. James Earl Jones.
You sure he passed away, Lee?
That's what I heard.
I know, it's just Wikipedia's not updated. It's still present. Is an American actor, and they're usually so quick on stuff like this.
Okay, maybe I'm wrong. Where did I find this?
Let me see what the news
If I am
saying.
misleading you, I apologize because I don't like fake news.
Yeah, here we go.
Oh, maybe it's just that he turns 92. Somebody got it wrong. I apologize, James Earl.
Yeah, James Earl Jones.
Today's famous birthdays list.
He turned 92 2 days ago on Tuesday.
James, my bad. I'm sorry. Do not spread this rumor beyond this little TV show.
Now,
James Earl Jones, happy and healthy and hearty at age 92.
What I didn't know is that James Earl Jones, it says here, nearly voiced Sideshow Bob on Simpsons, and that would never have worked.
Wow, boy, talk about getting hooked in by fake news, because I saw that story this morning. Oh boy, that's bad. Now I feel bad.
Now, Lee,
I killed him before his time.
We got to wind back 1 week ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems so much longer than that to me. You know, sometimes time flies, and to me,
Well, I think it's because there's been so much news about it, Kevin. There have been so many stories and so many pictures and so many questions, and that is just one of the videos of the fire over in Port Weller that took place, about a week ago. And a young man died in that fire. His name was Ryan Ryan Konkin. And a GoFundMe page has been set up in aid of Ryan's family. 37 years old, Ryan was recently taken due to his injuries. This was written by his sister, by the way. Taken from us due to his injuries from the Sonics explosion on Kiefer Road in St. Catharines on January 13th, 2023. So that was Friday, right? A week from tomorrow.
It's a week ago today.
A week ago today?
Oh, sorry. He would have passed on the Friday. The explosion was a week ago today.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. We're devastated by the hole left in our lives and the effect on the people in the community. Ryan was born October 29, 1985 in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. I've actually been in Yorkton. And lived the best years of his life in St. Catharines, Ontario, alongside the love of his life, his fiance, Natalia, people know her as Natty, and her family. Ryan could most often be found fishing, gardening, shoveling someone's driveway, picking up trash in the parks, playing with random animals, making kids smile, and sharing his favorite dishes with anyone who is available. And the description goes on if you want to go to that GoFundMe page. And he was the one person there. I think there might have been another person around or in the building, but he was the only person that was injured and then ultimately passed away in that horrible series of explosions and the blaze that was Sonics over in Port Weller. Is Natty with us? Okay. Let's bring Natty on now. Natalia Sepúlveda-Lastra, welcome to the program. I can call you Natty, is that okay?
I would love for you to call me Natty. That's what he would always call me.
Okay. Well, that's what you got. Fiance of Ryan. I can't begin to express our condolences strong enough to make them really to make you feel any better. But thank you for coming on to talk to us. Because it's one of the biggest stories, one of the most surprising stories to have hit the Niagara region in a long, long time. And a lot of us didn't understand it because we weren't sure what actually went on in that business.
Mm-hmm.
Can you walk us through your day?
Absolutely. Well, the night before we had a beautiful night. We were at home. He came home a little bit upset to mom and dad's when, he had gone to get his license and, it just didn't work out that day. But, he never let anything bother him. So we came.
What kind of license?
Just his driver's license.
Oh, okay.
It had expired, so he was just trying to get all the paperwork and wanted to do things right.
Okay, sorry, go ahead.
So we had come home and continued our day. We were watching TV, and I pulled out my laptop to continue, signing up for our business and everything, and normal night. And then the next morning, wake up at 4 a.m., something that never happens. It was without our alarm and everything. And I look over at him, and he's sleeping on the couch. He had fallen asleep watching TV. So I get up, I make coffee, and I'm going to go lay down again. And then I see he gets up right away. So I figure, you know what? I'm not tired. Let's go. We sat down at our breakfast nook here, and we had our coffee, and we laughed. Somehow it's kind of like something was telling me, because it was getting closer to the time that I was going to drop him off. He typically would drop me off in Niagara on the lake, but because this had happened and, it was let known on the lot that he didn't do this, and he didn't trust a lot of his colleagues, he didn't figure it was safe for him to be driving. So I told him, love, are you sure you want me to drop you off? Like, the coffee shop's never busy in the morning. I can be a little bit late. Like, no, I'm just going to open up. I'm going to set up my day, have my coffee. Okay. So I drive him down. We live about 5 minutes away from where he works. And we get to the lot. He's usually the only one that opens up. If not, he goes at 7 and he brings another colleague with him. Everybody else gets there a little bit later. So he was the only one with the keys. And in the truck, we say, I love you. Have a good day. Like, okay, baby, let me know when you get to work.
Right.
And I see him walk off with his little thermos and his lunch bag. And he goes into his bay. And I drive off. 3 minutes later, this explosion happened.
3 minutes?
I don't know how. 3-4 minutes later, I don't know how it happened. I don't know how I didn't hear it. It must have been his truck. It was always so loud that I didn't hear it. And I'm getting to work in Niagara on the Lake. I'm on St. Mary Street. And I hear it on the radio that there was an explosion on Kiefer Road at a chemical disposal plant. And I immediately knew it was him. I pull the car over. I start to call him. I figure, you know what, maybe it's because I'm in Niagara on the Lake. I never have service. So I make the drive down to work. I'm saying, like, you know what, I don't think I'm going to be able to stay. I try to call him, and there's no tone. I make a 15-minute drive and maybe 7. And as I'm getting there, all I see is the flames and the smoke and the roadblock. And I'm screaming, and I park the car, and I run to the police officer. I tell them, you know what, my fiance, he's in there. He's in Flambe. Has anybody pulled anyone out? Can you go in? He's the only one there. And they said that they haven't heard anything. But where did I park? They'll let me know as soon as they find out. And I stay there, and it starts getting brighter out. I call my brother, because I was up at this end of the roadblock on Reed Road, and I call him, like, you need to go on the other side, talk to a cop over there and see, like, what's happening. And so both of us are kind of on each end. And they tell us at the same time, he's okay, he's alive, he's in the hospital, go to him. And I drive. I've never taken those side roads before. I've never really driven his truck before, and I'm trying to get there. I get to the hospital, and they told me that when he got to the hospital, he was talking, and he said all I did was open the door. He had burns on 99% of his body.
He just opened the door?
He just opened the door.
And this was...
There must have been something going on overnight. And
he was in the St. Catherine's Hospital at that time.
They took him there immediately, and they put him on life support and the medication that he needed because of the swelling. If they waited too much longer to put the machine in him, he wouldn't have been able to breathe. And the nurses, they said, you know what, I asked them, like, can I go with him to Sunnybrook, the burn center in Toronto? And they said they're going to try to get me with the paramedics, but it's not a for sure thing. They come in, and immediately they ask, are you coming with us? Absolutely. And so we're going. Had a little bit of hope, because the paramedic stuck his little head out from the little window, and he's like, he's doing so much better. His pressure is going up, like his heart rate's going up.
Mm-hmm.
And we got there, and they take him immediately into the room, and they say it's going to be about 2-3 hours until you can see him. We have to dress him and help him. It wasn't even one. When the doctor comes in, and he's explaining that the severity of the burns that he went through, and there's no skin to graft anything on.
Wow.
Immediately I started saying, like, is there anything I can do? Can you take mine? Like, what do we need? He wasn't gonna make it. And because of the 2 people that pulled him out, I was able to be there from every second from St. Catherine's to the point that it was our time to say goodbye.
Did you have a chance to say goodbye?
We were there with him all night. His sister flew down from Saskatchewan. His brother was coming from Regina. His brother was coming 10 a.m. the next morning. And his sister got there around 1 a.m. And we were all there. My friends came down. They loved him so much. We were all there. They were so nice to us. We were coming and going in that room as we pleased. You know, it was just to make him comfortable and feel
Yeah.
accompanied.
Natty,
And
was he fully conscious while you were there?
no, by the time I got to the St. Catherine's Hospital, he was already asleep. He had all the medication going through his body. His eyes were closed. He couldn't speak or anything like that. Sometimes it looked like he was trying to get up. I'd see that movement when he was trying to get up from bed and kind of.
But you never
around.
you never had a chance actually to talk with him in the hospital.
I would play more songs and I would sing to him. I tell him I know he hates to see me cry, but he's gonna need to be a little bit patient with me.
We're so sorry. Sorry.
It was around 2 a.m. when I looked at Nicole and I said, we were standing around him. It was Nicole and my father. And I said, I just really want to hug him, but I don't want to hurt him.
I don't want to. I don't want to make you feel any more emotional than you already are. But from the pictures that we've been showing on this show while we've been chatting, Ryan seems like a pretty happy-go-lucky, fun, loving, good guy that enjoyed life. That's what he looks like to us from the pictures that we've seen. Is that the kind of guy that Ryan was?
Absolutely. He never liked conflict. He just liked chatting. You know, if anybody would walk by, you know, our neighbors, hey Jimmy, you know, I made some food. Here, try this. And bringing out little plates to everybody or petting someone's dog. And sometimes, you know, all our dates would always get pushed back because sometimes, you know, we'd take the long route and he'd stop and give water to the homeless and a couple of cigarettes so they didn't have to do anything to get it. And
sorry to interrupt you, but what was his job at Sonics? What did he do?
He did a little bit of everything. You know what? He started there a few years back when he did a temp agency there. And he left his job at a farm and everything, and he was trying to look for something better, you know, more pay or anything like that, because he was only getting paid $15 an hour for 5 years and no raises or anything like that. His house had burned down. And so he went there immediately. They gave him a job. They knew how much of a hard worker he was. So he started off small. He started disposing of like lighters and colognes and stuff like that. And then
excuse me.
And then it would, like, soon after they sent him to get his forklift license, and then they gave him a dollar raise, and then another dollar raise. He was feeling really happy, and every day he would go and he'd bust his bum to work and everything, and he'd come home so tired. He had a disability in his leg and his back from a motorcycle accident. And suddenly he got his own bay. He was working at Flambe. And that's where he would dispose of isocyanide, paint. He'd get homicide rags, like everything. He would get everything in there.
So he was dealing with some pretty high-end stuff in his life every day.
I told him, it was weird. It was like 2 months ago. I was like, love, do you see yourself staying here a while? He's like, yeah, I mean, they treat me well and everything. I'm doing good. I'm like, but you're breathing in so much stuff every day.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's not really a safe work environment. There was
speaking of that, did he have to wear a ventilation equipment or masks or anything like that?
Yeah, he would always have that big mask with
the two things in it. Yeah.
Yeah.
The ventilators.
Yeah, he would always have to put those on and everything. Not for all of them, but certain things he knew, the protective stuff, his safety glasses. He has a jar full of them here on our desk. And
what do you know about the company? Because I don't know anything about the company.
Yeah. So I'm not too sure, but I believe that they're private. They work under like all the Ontario law and everything. However, anything that comes there, they'll dispose of it and it gets sent to the United States.
Oh, so okay, so somehow they process these chemicals or sort of I don't know, detoxify them or something, and then send the derivatives of the waste away. I'm just sort of paraphrasing. Is that kind of
To a
what they?
certain extent, they had to stabilize quite a few things.
Yeah.
But sometimes when spills would happen on the lot, which was very often, like this was sometimes multiple times a day.
They had a lot
Multiple-
of spills.
Lots of spills. Lots of spills. And so
Ooh,
they would
okay.
always have to deal with this. And he said, "Oh, there's another spill again," you know? And it gets heavy too, because they're shoveling it and putting it back into a tote. And then they put paint over it and label it as paint sludge. Send it out.
Wow. Okay. Now, have you been contacted by any authorities or any representatives of that company at all since Ryan's passing?
Representatives of the company, no, but we are working. The Niagara Police Department is working really, really hard. The fire marshals and everything. I've given my statement and all of that.
So there is a full, in-depth, ongoing, detailed investigation here.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
You know
Because
what?
a lot of this stuff just,
Like,
a lot of this stuff sounds so dangerous.
all the time. I was looking at the messages, and I told my sister-in-law, I wish I would have said something sooner. But he was so happy. He was being appreciated at work, and he never was one that wanted conflict. He never said anything bad about his employers.
Well, no,
It just-
I'm not trying to infer that there was anything illegal. There is anything untoward going on. I'm sure it was a licensed
Yeah.
business, and they were doing what they were hired to do. It just seems that it was such a dangerous environment, like kind of a risky environment to me.
Right? Like you could appreciate your workers and everything. You could treat them nicely, but it doesn't equate the same as keeping them safe.
Yeah. Wow. Now, are you in possession of any more information other than he opened the door and something exploded? Do you know any more than that?
That was all he said to the nurses told me that when he got there, that's what he said. That was all I heard, other than when the two heroes that saved him and pulled him over his shoulder when he was trying to get out of the lot.
And who were they? Where did they come from?
They were working in the greenhouse next door. And
Not for the same company.
No, just the lot next door. And so they heard him screaming and trying to get over the fence, but he couldn't. And so they helped him over. But small men, you know, like I think it was all adrenaline.
And he was burning at this time.
All he said is, "I'm cold. I'm cold."
Oh man.
So in a way, that meant shock, right? His body was in shock, so he was
totally. Yeah. Now, anybody else work in that place? How many people worked in that facility?
They have a little over 10 employees.
But was he was the only one there at the time?
The only one there, and oftentimes he'd be the only one there until 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock.
At night?
No, in the morning. He'd start 7 usually.
He'd start at 7?
Typically, if he started at 7, he'd pick up one of his young friends that he really, really got close to, and that's what we're thinking, you know, there could have been so many more lives.
Wow. Natty, we have I'll ask that question later. I just want to not forget about talking about the GoFundMe page. That it was Ryan's sister that set up the GoFundMe page, correct?
Yeah, she knew all our plans. She was the first one that knew that we got engaged. She was the first one that knew that we bought a coffee cart. He was saying, "I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to go work at the cart." You know, that was our plan. He always wanted to have a restaurant, and that was one of the first things we even talked the day that we met.
When was
And
your wedding planned?
so we had gotten engaged the day before New Year's. It was December 30th. It was in our living room.
Yeah.
And we didn't really have any plans, but we had talked about it so many times that like we didn't want anything big or anything. We were just so absolutely in love that last week, the night before, actually, we had been saying, you know what, Aunt Linda's coming from Chile. Let's just get married at City Hall. Let's do it in the garden. You know, just we never really had much, but we didn't care. We just wanted to get married and start our life. And he was saying $2 more on my pay, and you know, we'll start trying to have a baby. It was. We just wanted each other. We wanted a family. And
Natty, there is correct me if I'm wrong, but there is a child involved here somewhere, right?
Yes, he had a young little boy. He had Vincent when he was 21 years old. And so he hasn't seen him since he was 3.
Oh, okay. So they're not together then, or they weren't together.
No, he didn't really know much about his dad.
Okay.
But last year, Vincent reached out to Ryan and introduced himself, asked him, like, you know, like this, and then Ryan immediately, he was beaming. This happened at work, and he came home, and he's like, Vincent messaged me, and like this, and started taking pictures of all the pictures that we have of Vincent here and on our walls, and even I have a little picture of him on our dresser and everything, because, you know, he was so happy. He was looking for schools. How are we going to fly him out? You should come and visit. Like,
So he and his dad had a good relationship.
he did. They didn't talk too often, just when they could. And I would tell him, you know, just give him some time. He's a teenage boy. Just give him some time. He's just getting to know you.
Yeah. So the GoFundMe page set up by his sister is already a little bit over the goal that was set. The $10,000 goal was set, which in GoFundMe speak is not that high, but at least it is. You've gone over that. Now, people would like to know, I think, where their donations are going to go. How are you going to keep Ryan's spirit vibrant and acknowledge his life with the GoFundMe donation?
Well, Ryan, there's not much more we could say of him. Everybody, I think, knows how much of a vibrant being he was, and caring and comforting. And one of the biggest things is that we want to finish every project that we started. The biggest one is the coffee truck, right? We bought our little trailer. We tried to put in a little bit, and then Mom helped us with the rest, and we were fixing that up and trying to fix the floor and figuring out what we needed to do. He always wanted to sell his fries there. So
you guys had a plan. You had a plan going here.
it was starting. He was saying, I'm going to quit my job. It was this spring. And so that's one of our biggest things. It was called Stardust Gateway originally. It was with another hope, another plan. That was our stepping stone.
Yeah.
And now we've immediately decided that's Ryan's Lounge. That's
Ryan's Lounge.
That's his spot. Yeah.
Are you going to proceed with this?
Yes. Yes, I have to. Your support has been able to keep me strong to be able to do this. Because if I'm not strong, what happens with Ryan?
Well, will you
What
please?
happens with everything that's left unfinished that he wanted to do and see?
Will you please not make this the last time we talk? You know how easy it is to click in to be on this show? Don't wait for an invitation. If you want to call up and say, hey, Lee, Kevin, here's what's happening with what we're doing, and we will be over the moon to help you do whatever we can help you do.
There is one more thing that I'd
Okay.
like to do for Ryan.
Go for it.
When we met, I told him that I write. And immediately we started meeting at our spot at night. He would have a little bonfire at Sunset Beach, and we'd sit there and he'd tell me his stories. And I wanted to write it for him, wanted to give it to him for Christmas. But there was one day in the car, about a month and a half ago, that I looked at him and I'm like, I feel like I'm trying to write a story where I don't know the ending.
Oh,
And now,
you've got an ending.
and his story needs to come out. He's such a vibrant person, and I'm going to call it fireflies and Ferris wheels.
Okay, can I make an offer to you?
Mm-hmm.
Once you have it written and done and finished and proofread and everything else, if you want an audio book portion of it so people can just sit and listen to it, I volunteer at no charge to you to read it for you, okay?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay. Good luck.
Thank you.
Thank you for being so strong to come on here and talk about something that is so raw and so fresh in your memory. We didn't know Ryan, I didn't know him, but he just seems like a wonderful man that you were lucky to know. So,
If I knew again, it was only 2 years, I'd do it all again.
thanks, Natty.
Thank you.
Breaks my heart, Lee.
Wow.
You crying? I'm crying.
Yeah, I am. Wow. What a great couple
Tough one.
they were.
You know what? I truly believe, Lee, in the if you want to call it a theory or what have you, that that people get the face they deserve. And all those photos of Ryan that I was sharing, he just looks.
Well, I was watching them.
He just looks like the kindest soul.
I was watching them flash by the screen as best I could while talking to Natty, and he just gave me that I'm full of life and happy person. Life is good.
Yeah, if I saw them on
Life
Sunset,
is good.
on Sunset Beach, he's the guy that I'd go over and sit next to and go, that guy looks like he's going to make me laugh. He's going to make me smile. He's
Yeah.
got something to say.
He's not harmful. He's just out there.
You know what,
Wow.
Lee? And again, the GoFundMe page is there. There's links all over. Niagara 411. I'll put it in the comments here. If you Google GoFundMe Ryan Konkin, it comes up. And I'd really love to see this. I mean, just over their goal of $10,000. But I mean, that's just a goal. There's no reason this can't go to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So.
No, and I mean that. I mean, it's my business to narrate books and do voicing and whatnot for things. But I would gladly, at absolutely no charge, put out the audio book version of his story and Natty's writing. It would be an honor to do that. So we have a feel-good story. So we're going to pick up your spirits a little bit here. Jennifer Danielle Byford. And here was the post. Hey guys, I'm Jennifer, a 1-year dialysis patient awaiting a kidney transplant. The kidney transplant list is extremely long. We've talked about this on the program before, and she mentioned 6 years. Here's my story. In 1990, I was born, among other issues, cleft lip. That's no small thing either. They found out I had polycystic kidney disease, PKD as it's known. I was then transferred to the most amazing hospital for kids. Sick kids where up until I was 15, I would visit for appointments. Normal childhood. I had a good one, but it was far from normal. No child should be in and out of hospitals My PKD was well managed. Flash to 218. I gave birth to the most amazing human being. He was my miracle, my whole entire heart. I got HELLP syndrome, which greatly affected my kidneys. HELLPP syndrome, not just HELP. Syndrome, which greatly affected my kidneys. Creatine was extremely high. I always wanted to be a mom, and I am, and I couldn't be more happy than with my perfect miracle baby. Early 2021, I felt extremely ill. I had no energy. I slept a lot. I also blew up like a balloon. They told me that my creatine was so high, over 1700. Normal creatine is 46 to 92. I was slowly killing myself from the toxic buildup of toxins in my blood. I was admitted into the ICU for 5 days, trying to get better for my boy. He's got me to rely on. He needs me. A lot of people told me to make another post to share my story and to add my blood type in. I don't expect much, but if you would like to go through tests, St. Joseph's Hospital in Hamilton, Ontario, my blood type is O positive. Even just shares, I'm forever grateful for all the love these posts have gotten. Maybe a sweet angel will reach out, I don't know, but even shares help. I just wanted to get my story out there, as a lot of you have been asking. Thank you so much for even taking the chance to read this. Me and my family are ever so grateful. Jennifer Byford. Well, flash forward to today. And we say good afternoon to Jennifer Byford. How you doing today?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. Now, from the time we read that post, walk us forward from the end of that post to where we are today.
Oh, jeez. Well, I made that post not expecting anything. I just wanted to share my story because, like, a lot of people were like, I'm on dialysis, I don't want to, it's a death sentence, and it really isn't. It's not a death sentence. And I just wanted to share my story because, like, I wanted to tell everyone else, you can perfectly be okay on dialysis. It's just not a way of life,
Right.
And then, I guess Nathan's wife, who's actually with us as well, she found my story and actually sent it to Nathan, and he reached out to me. And I remember that very message. He was like, I'm Nathan, like, my wife sent me this, and, like...
Wow. I would like to, while you collect yourself a little bit, Jennifer, I would like to introduce everybody to Nathan. And Nathan, your wife's name is?
My wife's name's Julie.
Hi, Julie.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm okay, thank you.
Okay, so are you guys in St. Catharines or Niagara Falls or Welland? Where are you?
We're in Fort Erie.
You're in Fort Erie. Okay, cool. Yeah. So you finally managed to get yourselves all dug out from the storm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
Yeah. Okay. So Julie.
Yes.
After Jennifer put up this post and you read about her need.
Yeah.
What inspired you to bring it up and not just scroll by, but mention it to Nathan? How did that happen?
So, as I was reading her story, I have a daughter the same age as Jennifer's son, so I was feeling like it was like tugging at my heart because and she's a single mom. So I read the single mom part. Yeah. I read about her son, and I just tugged at my heart. And when I read that her blood type, and it's the same as Nathan's, I just knew he would do it. It wasn't like, maybe he'll do it. It was like, in my spirit, I knew he would donate his kidney. So I texted him the story, because I guess he wasn't home. He wasn't home. And I was just like, you interested? And his response was just, yep. And then he contacted Jennifer.
Well, you
So
must know. You must know your husband, and you don't know Jennifer. You didn't know Jennifer before.
No.
Boy, I gotta tell you, you must know your husband pretty well, Nathan. I gotta tell you, if my wife, like we have separate offices. I'm in my office, she's in her office, and we're doing work and stuff. And occasionally she'll walk down to my studio and say, "Hey, look at this story that I thought. Isn't that kind of interesting?" Or I'll do the same in reverse. I have to tell you, in all honesty, that if she walked down the stairs and into my studio and said, "Hey, I found somebody I'd like you to give a kidney to," this is not something that I would receive really well. I mean, think about it. How do you think that way? What was your first reaction?
Well, I legitimately, like Julie was saying, we do have, over the last 15 years of our marriage, we've gotten to know each other really well. And so
I hope so.
we've been able to speak for each other when one or the other isn't there. Not because we want to tell each other what to do, but we are able to, we're in this place now where we believe that we can have a voice for each other when the other one isn't at the point. So
boy, what a great spot to be in.
This to me. Oh, it's wonderful. And so Julie sent this to me, and I just saw the need for something, for someone. It was something that, like Julie said, in the spirit and the heart, to really be like, yeah, this is someone who could benefit so much from an individual giving something to them.
Okay, so next step, Jennifer posts this heartfelt need up there. Julie sees it, is struck by it, comes to you with it, and you said, yeah, this sounds like something we could do. So now what happened? Pick up the story from there.
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Who wants to go? Nathan, you go. It's your kidney.
All right. All right. So it is a process to a lot of paperwork that you're sending in to the hospital. You're doing a lot of different tests. They're sending you for blood tests and everything so that they can match blood type and everything like that, and to see if that's even a possibility. But learning all this, learning that it doesn't just stop there. So much of how the kidney is situated in the body also affects how and who is able to donate a kidney. So depending on, typically the typical thing is one artery in, one vein out for a kidney, but that isn't always the case.
Yeah.
Some kidneys have multiple arteries in, one vein out, or one artery in, multiple veins out. And so you have to be able to match the recipient and the donor based on those things as well.
Yeah, so this ain't Lego. This is pretty complicated stuff.
Yeah, it is very much so. But it's been a long process. It's been now over a year, I believe, since Jennifer made that post. And we are hopefully coming up to the actual surgery date with regards to this.
Oh, so this surgery has not yet taken place and it's been a year?
Correct.
Wow. Okay, so Jennifer, are you still, how many times a week are you on dialysis still?
3 times a week. Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday.
For how long?
4 hours each time.
And you have this done in St. Catharines, do you?
Welland.
In Welland, okay.
Yeah.
So, as I understand it, because my dad was on dialysis, because he was a lot older than you were, of course, but the people that work in those wards seem to me, because I went there a few times with him, seem to be like salts of the earth. They make friends with these people, and it becomes like almost like a community of people. Has that been your experience?
I'm sorry, my son was asking me questions.
No, that's okay.
Oh my
You know what,
gosh.
Leah? Bring him on. I mean, the post there really spoke to what the joy of your life that he was. Let's see the guy.
Yeah, bring him on. Yeah. So, what has your dialysis experience been like in Welland? Because my experience with those people is that they're just terrific people.
Oh, they are. Like, a lot of the nurses and, like, the charge nurses and the doctors, they're amazing. Like, I have the most amazing doctor, and he's been my rock. And I remember, actually, when I first got on dialysis, I was really scared. Like, I was terrified. And I was like, I shouldn't have I should have taken better care of myself, all this stuff. And he looked me in the eye and said, that's not here nor there. You can't think about like that. All you have to do is think forward.
Was there some sort of pre-existing condition that led to your kidney issues?
Oh my gosh. Well, I got my PKD, polycystic kidneys, and then just the HELLP syndrome that really, really affected my kidneys. Like,
okay.
Yeah.
So when do you expect? When is your surgery date?
Hopefully on the 26th.
26th of this month?
Yep. Next week.
Wow. Okay, so this is a big. Now, did COVID affect this at all? Was it pushed back at all because of that?
No, it was pushed back because I got sick.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
right.
It was originally November 24th.
So tentatively right now is the 26th.
Yes.
Now let's flip over to Julie and Nathan again. Yeah. So no, I'm thinking about what question I want to ask. Okay, so we're a week away from somebody taking one of your vital organs. I know you have two. I mean, we all have a couple of them, but we have a couple of them for a couple of reasons. I mean, it's a good thing to have two. As the date draws closer, how do you feel about it?
I feel excited about it, and I am so ecstatic that Jennifer will be able to start her new life with her son, to be able to do that. And a lot of people I've talked to have said, "Oh, like you're saying, you have to, like, what if something happens to someone that you know?"
Yeah.
But all those what ifs aren't a reality.
Well, there's always what ifs, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of what ifs, but in my whole life, and everything comes back down for us here with Jesus and what he's done for us, because he gave up everything for us. And one of the most well-known verses in the Bible, John 3:16, says, "For God so loved the world that he gave." And so we've been teaching our kids this for as long as we've had them here growing up with us so far, that love gives. And for us to be able to give something to someone else, even though it seems like a lot, it's not nearly enough of what I've been given with my whole life, with our whole lives. So
what a wonderful sentiment. Nathan, obviously your faith plays a large role in your life for your family.
Yeah.
How do they pick which kidney they're going to take? I've always wondered that. Like, is it like eeny, meeny, miny, mo? How do you do that?
Yeah, there's a couple of factors, and in the process, you get to learn these factors, and you ask the questions of the nurses, and they're like,
"Well, I ask these stupid questions because I think other people want to know this stuff."
Yeah. So they do a full renal scan, and renal being kidney. I didn't know what that word meant until this whole process.
Well, even I know that.
Yeah.
But you can't have a kidney.
Yeah. And so they do a whole CAT scan, they do radioactive scanning, and put you under a whole set of imaging systems that will actually see which kidney is sorting out the radiation better.
Yeah.
If there's one working harder than the other, then they can tell from there which one would be a better. Typically, they like to keep the one that's working better.
I would think. I mean, they want you to keep the best one if you've got, right?
Yeah.
And so, but then the other factor is in that, in all of us with both our kidneys, our right kidney is actually closer to the main arterial artery in the spine. And so they would prefer to take the left kidney because that gives them more playroom with all the arteries.
This is, you see, now that's the answer I was looking for. There has to be some sort of scientific, biological background for which one. So if they do the testing and all the rest of it, and all things being equal, they're going to take the left one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
Lee, I just want to pop in with a question here. I mean, we've been hopping around the timeline here, and I really want to know. Okay, you've made the decision, Nathan, that you are going to donate your kidney. Jennifer doesn't know this yet. How do you make the connection? And I'd love to hear both sides of that story. Maybe Nathan, you can
how
talk
do you guys get together?
Yeah.
With you guys to what, like just at the beginning or?
So Jennifer makes the post. You guys make a decision that you want to do it. How do they put you together?
Okay, so there's a couple things that you could do. Jennifer, do you want to talk about the different ways that people can donate?
Yeah.
You can be completely anonymous, or you can decide to meet up with the person. Like me and Nathan, we actually after he messaged me. We met up and I met his whole family and they were absolutely lovely. The kids are beautiful. And
So Jennifer,
sorry, I'm so nervous.
No, that's okay. That's good. That's all good.
Yeah, bring us back there. So you received what, a Facebook message from Nathan or from Julie, and where were you when you got that message? What did it say, and how did you react?
I got it from Nathan, and it was like, I'm Nathan, I'm O positive, the same blood type as you, I have a family, we live in Fort Erie, I'd love to donate if I'm a match. And I actually think I was sitting on the couch with my son, I think he was playing on his tablet or something. And I don't know, because I was like, nothing will come out of it, you know.
You didn't have a lot of hope.
I was really, yeah. I was
time.
actually at St. Joe's when I did that post and put that picture up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
I
then
was like, I don't have any hope, but maybe something will come.
What about your side of it, Nathan? I mean, here you are sending a message to somebody and hope it's received and hope you get a response. So what was that timeline like?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when I sent it, it was one of those positions where you're like, well, this is now out of my hands and we'll see how it goes. I had in my mind that if this does start rolling, the ball does start rolling, that hopefully we'd be able to meet up and know each other and everything like that.
Yeah.
It was just a point of saying, okay, I put my end out, and then actually it was quite soon after Jennifer sent me the documents that I would need to fill out to send into St. Joe's Hospital.
Okay, that's what I was wondering.
So then we were going with that. So I had no idea about how to go about all this, and I figured hopefully Jennifer would have a better idea than me, and so then we got the ball rolling with that after. You just wait and see what comes of it, because once you get everything, all the documents handed in as well, then you are now on the hospital's time schedule.
Okay, we've got the three of you on the screen. Before we let you go, I want you to walk us through, as you understand it, what's going to happen on the 26th?
26th, yeah.
Okay, so what happens on the 26th? What's the timing?
So, Jennifer actually will be, you're going in the day before.
25th, yeah.
25th.
So Jennifer's going into the hospital, and this is happening in St. Catharines?
It'll be at St. Joe's in Hamilton.
At St. Joe's in Hamilton, okay.
Yep.
So Jennifer goes in on the 25th. So they're going to prep you for the next day, obviously.
Yeah, and I'll be starting all of my anti-rejection medications, and yeah, they just want to monitor me and make sure everything's gonna be okay. And,
Sure. Okay, and then step 2.
Step 2 is I come in on the morning of the 26th, and they prep me very soon. And I have, for myself, it'll be about a 4-hour surgery where they will remove my kidney. And then...
Sorry, go ahead.
That's all right. That's all right. And then from there, after that surgery is complete, then they'll be bringing that kidney to where Jennifer will be, and they'll be doing the surgery
on that same day.
The same day.
So it'll be like fresh. It's coming. It's coming directly, smoking from Nathan to Jennifer.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then on the 26th, Jennifer, you'll be in the operating room then, having been probably serrated, whatever, waiting.
Serrated or sedated?
Sedated, serrated, maybe
both. Yeah.
Maybe a bit of both.
Yeah. Waiting for Nathan's kidney to arrive. Right?
Yep.
Okay. So let me ask you this now. We've already established that we're gonna. I apologize for taking up all your time, but this is stuff that we've never been through this before. So So we've already determined that we're going to take Nathan's left kidney. Is that going to become your left? Is that going to become your left kidney?
No, I think it goes in my right side. I think that's what they said, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it goes.
How do we make that connection? Why did? Oh, because it's.
I don't know. I don't actually know. I would just flip it. Like
these are just questions that have come up along the way.
Because the right side, I think it's like easier to get to, and I have my two native kidneys, and they don't take those out.
Oh, they don't take those out.
Yeah, they put it right in like in my abdomen. Yeah.
So they're gonna have a buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna have 3 kidneys. 3.
Okay. So Nathan ends up with 1, and you end up with 3. How fair is that? So. Okay. Well.
You did.
I know I'm making light of this, but it's so serious and it's so wonderful, and we'll be thinking of you. I don't know, Julie. What are you going to be thinking on that day? How are you going to be handling this?
Well, I need to drop my kids off at my parents', and then my dad's coming with me and my baby, and we're gonna go visit Nathan after. And then we'll pick him up 3 days later.
All right. Nathan, how long do you have to stay in the hospital after this is over?
They tell me typically it's 2 to 3 days at the hospital. If things are not looking as good, they've said some people have had to stay about 5 days, but I don't know what that looks like. I think the majority of people are there about around 3 days.
Now, do you have to go on recuperative drugs and as well?
No. It's actually just a bit of morphine at the beginning, and then they say they want to get you off of that as soon as possible.
Yeah, of course.
And just down to nothing.
Okay. Well, God bless you. I think you're wonderful people. Jennifer, our fingers, eyes, and toes and everything that we can cross are crossed for you, and you must be so excited to be able to. Get back to living what you might call a normal life. How long after the transplant takes place will you be able to go about your daily life without dialysis and all that?
As soon as the kidney is placed,
okay,
I won't need dialysis.
So it's like it's almost immediate.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
How old is your son, by the way?
He's gonna be 5.
He's going to be 5? Does he get what's going on?
Somewhat. He knows I go to dialysis. He tells me all the time, I want to come to dialysis with you, Mommy. I miss you. And sometimes, like, it's really hard because he'll cry, like, when I'm leaving at 6 o'clock in the morning. So it's really...
Well, we won't
I'm
keep
just
you...
grateful. I'm just grateful for Nathan and Julie.
We're putting Julie to sleep, so we've probably...
No, that was like a hug.
We've probably got 100 more questions I can ask, but thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
I'm so happy that you hooked up. Nathan, Julie, Jennifer, appreciate you being here. Report back in, okay?
I will.
And let us know how things are going.
Yep.
Yeah. And thank you very much for sharing the story.
Oh
as well.
man, it's wonderful. Thank you for sharing. It's great. Thanks. Well, Kevin, every day you stumble.
Incredible stuff. I'm with you. I don't know what my reaction would be if my wife walked in and said, "Hey, Kevin."
Like if Leanne walked down into you're watching a hockey game at night.
I saw this post, KJ.
And she sees a little something up there and says, "Hey, you're O positive, aren't you?" And you say, "Well, I think so." And well, how'd you like to pop off a kidney tomorrow? Pardon?
Come again?
Yeah. Pardon?
It's my extreme weight loss journey, Lee.
Yeah. So, boy, I tell you, for somebody to say, "Yeah, why not? It's like going
I'll
down."
tell you, though, that Nathan and Julie, 2 peas in a pod. I mean, she knew right away. Oh, Nathan will do this.
This is a match. As I said, they know each other well enough to say, "Hey, you know what? I think my husband might be. He might be the kind of guy that would do this."
Bang on. All right, Lee. A couple things here left on the show. I want to get to that viral video from Feulled, the Walrus Whisperer. However, I do want to pass on just as I'm going through his Facebook page here. He did throw this out that his grandmother passed away yesterday at the age of 91. So, of course, our hearts go out to Phil and, of course, his entire extended family.
As you guys remember, that Phil Demers, of course, was the ex-Marineland worker that was the whistleblower, and there was a movie, documentary, made called The Walrus and the Whistleblower. And Phil Demers is the guy. So, Phil, we pass along our sincere condolences on the passing of your mom at 91 years. People always said my mom lived to 101, and people would say, "Wow, what a great life she lived." And yes, she did. But you still miss, age is, as they say, age in a lot of cases is irrelevant, and no matter when you lose a loved one, the age is really irrelevant. You still feel that loss. So, Phil, our condolences. Now, here is this a drone film that Phil did? And this is Kiska. Now, I'm not sure. There she is, the killer whale Kiska. And this is her winter life. This is her winter residence. And this is still at Marineland in Chippewa, right, Kevin? Now, we had whales swim in all kinds of water, cold, hot. I don't think it's the temperature that has anything to do with it. But she is alone, and as I understand it, whales are gregarious creatures. So she is in there on her own, swimming around, trying to entertain herself. There are no people around. There are no trainers around. Now I'm assuming that they come in to feed her. However, this is that stark reality that is today Marineland in Chippewa of Niagara Falls.
I'm assuming the point they're making here is
she's
the
alone.
Solitude of it, and also
she's alone
compared to the ocean. It's a pretty narrow and shallow pool.
Yeah. Well, they are gregarious creatures. They do swim in pods and have contact with their own kind. She has none of this and is just there. Now, I can only assume, assumptions being what they are, that Humane Society, SPCA, proper authorities, whatever, are aware of what Kiska's situation is. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. I am just saying, we are just saying that that's how she is currently existing. Whether that is okay or not, I'm assuming it meets whatever criteria they have to meet to ensure the fact that they're keeping the regulations as they're supposed to be. That's all I can guess.
Now, I got to go set up the outside camera because, believe it or not, the show is drawing to a close. We're going to have musical guests, the Holdouts, and only became familiar with them. One of the local papers did an article on them because in September, I think September the 1st, they lost suddenly their longtime bassist, and the band is moving on and set to release some more music. They're pretty heavy for what we normally play, but hey, you know what? They're local, so they got a song I think called Latch. And we'll play the corresponding video for that coming up.
Cool.
And,
so you go do what you got to do, and I'm going to flip back through some of the things that we've kind of missed or talked about, or that I can update you on. First of all, something really cool happened over this past week. You may remember we interviewed a gentleman from Regional Towing last week by the name of Joe Vieira. Now, Joe Vieira was instrumental, well, more than instrumental, he was the guy that rescued a 20-year-old Clydesdale horse from a farm where the horse got into trouble being stuck in deep, deep mud up off Pelham Highway. It's a fascinating story. It's still up for you to watch, by the way, if you want to check it out on YouTube or WeeStream or Niagara 411 Live. And the way in which he was able to safely extricate this animal from the mud was so amazing that it went global. The video went viral, our piece went viral, and it was actually picked up by the Daily Mail video channel, the Daily Mail video newspaper in the United Kingdom. So, way to go, Joe. You have made it across the pond, as they say. And that fabulous story of the horse rescue that we did here on Niagara 411 Live with Lee Sterry has actually surfaced on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean. And I think that, now, it can do that anyway via the internet, but this is something that the actual publication Daily Mail picked up and said, hey, this is cool. This is a great story. And by all means, it sure was. One of the stories also that created a lot of talk was the conversation that we had with Adamson.
It was Jennifer Adamson, Nicholas's mother.
Jennifer Adamson, Nicholas's mom, that came on the program last week. And it was the first time that she'd talked with us. And a lot of questions were posed as a result of that interview. I had some of those questions myself, but there was a woman that contacted me also. Shaylin is her name. She said, I have a question. Would you? And I'm not a friend of this person. I'm not part of it or whatever, but she had a question, thinking about it. Trust me, when I watched yesterday, it didn't seem right at all. I don't mean to criticize the mom, but she's either not all there or the stories are wrong. There were some things that didn't make sense, and she asked questions that we asked. Now, here's something that I'm trying to scroll up here, and there we go. Now one of the things that I wanted to clear up for this person that was asking the questions, she was talking about when Mom went out to drive around and search for Nicholas, who she did not know that he was at the Moose and Goose at the time. She thought he had told her that he was somewhere in the neighborhood of the boxing club, etc. And she said, well, how could she go to, she was out for 15 or 20 minutes, how could she go to St. Catharines and Welland, etc.? Well, she didn't go to Welland. It was Welland Avenue in St. Catharines that she went to. So it's a little bit easy to misconstrue some of the things that were said, but I do agree. I do agree that there were some weird things. The cell phone that was borrowed from the friend. Why didn't the friend check on the cell phone? My question too. 2, the employee that stated he was kicked out, was he questioned? Apparently, yes, he was, by the way. 3, if Mom didn't know he was at the Moose, why would he have asked for money for drinks? Well, who knows? I mean, he could have been anywhere. So, I mean, that's not that big a mystery. What else? It was foggy. It was so foggy. How did she do a good search in all those locations in that time frame? Well, as I said, the locations were, it was a little bit misunderstood what locations she did. That being said, there were a number of people like Shaylin that question, something just feels weird about the story. Jennifer Adamson, and again, Mom, I'm not trying to cast aspersions on you or think you did anything wrong at all. I think you did what any mom would do. But 8 calls at night. I mean, my son, if he'd called me 8 times, I said, get yourself the hell home. Get in a cab, come home, and I'll give the cabbie $30 when you get here. So, like, quit calling me for stuff and get your ass home. That's probably what I would say. I'm sorry, Kevin. That's what I would say. No, I'm not giving you more money to stay out later because I don't know where you are, and I don't know who you're with anymore, and I want you to call a cab, and I'll pay for it when it gets here. And that would be probably, and I'm not just making stuff up here. I have 2 grown sons, so I kind of have some experience with these situations, and I don't mean to make light of it, but we still miss Nicholas, and there are still questions. We still have questions that don't have plausible answers to me.
I mean, in the Postly, we said that he vanished without a trace, and that's absolutely true. There's just no clue, no lead. So if you know of anything, hear of anything, or whatever, by all means. Lee, just before we go,
I got to get rid of this.
Now we got a little bit of a breaking news, although it's it's something that's been developing for a while. But prosecutors just announced that Alec Baldwin will be charged with involuntary manslaughter.
Get out.
I don't know the legal workings and evidence on either side. It seemed that it was, I don't know, intent where that plays a role in involuntary manslaughter. I have no idea, Lee. I have no idea. But anyway, that's just coming in.
I have been remiss in not re-mentioning our sponsors today, Gales Gas Bars Limited, for fueling this program as we roll our way into season 4, and this is episode 3. Thank you for sticking with us. I only think Niagara is going to get more and more interesting as time goes by, which means this show is going to get more and more interesting and become more impactful. I really do believe that, Kevin. I think that Niagara 411 Live with Sterry can do a lot more in 2023, and I look forward to working with you on that with WeeStream. Also, Verge Insurance, Mark Shirk, Nick Shirk, and your group, making sure that Niagara is protected on all of its various fronts and backs and sides. Thank you for continuing to be here. We appreciate Dave Mukparian and all of his staff for making us feel at home here at Fiddler's Poorhouse on St. Paul Street in St. Catharines. To Beau Chapeau Hat Shop for keeping my dome dry and comfortable and always good looking. From Beau Chapeau Hat Shop in Niagara on the Lake, thank you very much. We're going to take off. We're going to give you, no, that was last week's. We're going to give you the holdouts. And it's called Latch. And we're going to do some rocking here, Kev. All right, guys, enjoy the rest of your weekend. We'll check you next Wednesday, I believe we're on, right, buddy? All right, thanks, Kevin. Always a pleasure.